Okay. So what do we do?
We did test-driven development. We started by writing one test class and one Java class, and so we decided what tests we wanted, and we listed them out. We checked for we checked for a string, and when we check, it should be double. So we gave a string and we checked that it should be double. So if it's not double, it should like return the false. Then we check next thing, we check the smallest minimum value, and it returned true because it's correct. But then we check for negative, and if it's negative, then we added the functionality to our function that if it's less than 0, it should return false, not the true. And then we move forward and we wait for the actual number to string. And yeah.
Okay.
Did I cover everything? Or?
Yeah, no, those were our test cases.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that we learned?
Baby steps.
Right, yeah, baby steps, definitely.
Yeah, the preparation stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you guys, while I was doing all the Maven archetype stuff, you guys were brainstorming. Did that help?
Yes.
Did you feel it was easier for you to write your tests since you had done that? Okay, yeah. I had to rein you guys in a couple of times when you wanted to implement more than was like strictly necessary, and that's sort of like you need to have that discipline in test-driven development, not to just sort of like I know what to write. It's like no. On the tests, yes, do that on the test, but then on the code, be more judicious about what you write. Comments, questions for these guys?
Did you figure out an easier way to do the conversion other than hard coding it? Or did you not get
I think that's the next baby step that we need to take, right? Is to go from hard-coded 1, right? Because if you look over here, yep, this is how far we are on the convert method, and then what comes next? Cool. Yeah. Anything else for these guys? Okay. I'm gonna get the the first one here. Is anybody else on the Hangout? You guys, looks like you joined. So click join. Be a joiner. Okay. So over here on the left, there's that little green screen with an arrow on it. Click on that. Yep, that'll share your screen. You can choose which window. Yeah, your IntelliJ or something. Okay. Let's see here. Oh. Excellent. Okay, here we got it up here. Can I make it any bigger? I can make this full screen, or I can make this full screen, and then or you can just look at the projector over there. No, it's looking. Yeah, but see, this way it's recorded. Yes, really. Although, actually, is your mic on?
Nope.
Okay, turn your mic on. I'll mute my speaker so we don't get feedback, or maybe we will.
All right, how's that?
That's good, I think.
Oh, wrong one. There we are.
They can only see that one anyways.
Somebody else talk.
So we just basically started out by writing a very simple test to convert with just passing it an integer 1 and then returning 1. And then we proceeded on to test for 2 and return 2. We were initially doing it with a map of some sort, but we proceeded on to an array list. That's on the Oh, yes. So we basically started out with a ones map that would basically end up with an array list where indexes correlated with the individual numbers, and proceeded on, just only tested 1 and 2. We assumed that 3 through 9 worked. And then we were just, before we stopped, proceeding on to the teens. So the general idea is that we'd have another array list, which would just basically provide a mapping from an integer. Well, we subtract 1 from the index to get down to the proper index, or 10 from the index to get down to it and output it. But
Nice.
that's as far as we got so far. Yeah, just had a few tests. So I think we already passed. Yeah, we already passed all 4 of the tests so far. So.
Cool. What are your thoughts for greater than 30?
We're probably going to start modding at some point. And yeah, I have another few can if I'll stay assuming, but
Yeah. Neat. Yeah, cool. Questions or comments for these guys?
What happens if I put in too large number?
it probably gets in. Well, what does it do? It's going to return a not implemented yet string. Yeah.
Yes. Anything else? Okay. There's some clapping going on. Raising the roof. Okay. Who else is on the Hangout?
How do you get in the Hangout?
I posted something to the community. Chin cam.
How does it feel to be omnipresent?
It feels awesome. The power that I be able to be on 2 screens. I'm like a Bond villain, a really lame Bond villain. Hi, Scott. Oh. Why don't you mute your speaker? Speaker. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I expected to go in the aliens direction for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it could have been that too. Yeah. Okay. So you can unmute Scott. Or Scott, would you please unmute? Oh. Turn down your volume though? Yeah. That's strange. So like my volume's down. So that's muted. Okay. So unmute Scott. Oh, is it? Oh, it's going through the. It's going through the speaker on that. Yeah. Well, actually, he's close enough. So I bet Scott, his Sergio's, I think will pick you up. No, he did.
Volume?
Oh, wait, turn that down. Yeah, right. Okay, there you go. Right on. Such technology. This is awesome. Okay, try it again, Scott.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Check that out.
All right. You can. I don't know if you can even see anything.
Can you make it a little bigger?
It's full screen on mine.
But the text a little bigger. So Command scroll. Yeah. There's also presentation mode. Why don't you give that a try? Or you're in presentation mode because I don't see that.
Where?
Yeah, if you go up under here, let me quick show you. So it's view, enter presentation mode.
View. Enter presentation mode. There you go.
What does that do?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I hear woes. Where's the woe? Come on. Oh, come on, window. Hang on, I'm missing it. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
All right.
Well, it's big.
Well, we started similarly with just. We wanted to go from strings to digits.
Okay.
So we went the word 1 to the integer 1. We went backwards.
Okay.
It was hard. So we just started out with the simple input string 1, and then we made this method called string to num, which would take it and convert it. And we ended up just having a big We tried to start with switch. I don't know how to change views now that I'm in presentation mode.
Yeah.
How do you get to the other class?
Try Option Command right arrow.
Option Command right arrow.
That.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That.
It came up with it on the slide.
Did it?
Yep.
Two? Oh.
Favorites.
There we go. Well,
Yeah, that works.
Anyway, so we ended up with this big old mess. We tried starting out with switches. It just wasn't working. And I don't know if we did something wrong in there.
Did you remember to do the break? That's what I always do for a switch.
Even if not?
Only one case?
Yeah.
Okay, that was why. That's
But
why
I
didn't
thought
work.
if without the break, you would do the fall through.
Yeah.
So, oh.
Yeah, yeah, right. This is why like switch statements. It's like I always and like after about the third case, I'm like, I forget it, I'm using an if. Yeah, right. I bet IntelliJ has like a forget it, I'm using an if. Yeah, autocomplete. Sorry, we were talking.
And then we started adding a bunch. I mean, and obviously we would break this up at some point. You know, you've got your ones and then your teens, and then once you get beyond that, things simplify a bit. We didn't get that far. As far as how to test those, we just went up to 90. We made a couple sort of loops where one would test it from 0 to 19, comparing it to its, you know, we just made this array of strings, words, and then compare it to its index to see if they were matched. And then we did another just group of tests, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You know, we didn't get very far because there was a lot of typing. But, you know, we were thinking we'd eventually start parsing the string, and if you get a 1, you know, you'd grab a 1, and if the next word was 100, then you would multiply it by the result of what 100 was to get you 100. And if your next one's like a 40, you add that. 3, you add that. And then you would have your integer at the end. It would all work out perfectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you know, it was just the way that we decided to go with it.
We just dived into that, and we weren't sure where it would go from there. But we talked a little bit about could you figure it out where you would have it going both directions easily, whether it's a map. But actually, Scott had an interesting idea where if you had 1 colon and then the word 1, and then if you could have it contains, somehow that way that would work for both going either way.
And so you can sort of specify here's like the expected input,
Yeah, like
expected output
if
for
you
like
see on
all
the screen, right? 1 colon 1.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah.
So then if you parse that string, and if you're going from a digit to a word, you would look before the colon. If you're going from the word to the digit, look after the colon, and make the match and find out what the opposite was.
Cool. All right.
Right, we didn't do that though.
Excellent. Questions, comments for them? I think you guys did it backwards, though, right? I think you did it harder. You did it was way harder to like take the. I think it's. Oh, was that part 2? Okay, is that what it was? Oh.
Well, step 3 was the test driven, so we're just going backwards.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they did it that way. It's like this one, I think in particular, is well suited for test-driven development. Okay. But anyway, yeah. Cool. Right on. Okay. Who's next? Scott, please mute yourself, or just get off of the Hangout. You guys in the back? Want to get in the Hangout? No. Don't want to the Hangout. Okay.
We had some problems with the architect just getting it set up. So we didn't get
The very far, yeah. Okay. Well, you went and got Sean, right? I hope we got you, squared away. Okay. You guys back there? I saw you all talking at the whiteboard. That was cool. What'd you guys?
Yeah, it's almost identical.
Okay.
We ended up with a hash. We mapped 1 up to I think 20 or 19. So we were basically along the same lines.
Cool.
However, we did not have test cases for negative value or maximum value. So those would have never broken. That was good.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thoughts about tonight's experience? Compare and contrast it to last week. Sorry, what? Better. Okay, what made it better? Sorry, what?
I think it was the fact that it was a harder problem.
Harder problem, so a more interesting problem. What do you think of my hypothesis that this problem, that this kata is better suited to test-driven development? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Yeah? And I know we were doing test-driven over here. You guys did test-driven over here? Okay. Yeah, a little more? Well, right, yeah. It's like,
slow as I'm learning it, so I really just want to jump right into development.
although, I mean, it's like, what I always come back to is like, yeah, right, if I went and just implemented it all, how do I know it's right? And then it's like, how much risk is there in, oh, I found a better way of doing it, or like, oh, I had to fix a bug over here, and then is everything still working? So yeah, it's that trade-off. Any other observations? Let's see here. Did the people who mobbed this week, did you also mob last week? Yeah? Yeah. And pairing, were you guys mobbing last week, or were you pairing last week? I can't remember.
I mobbed and I actually like comparing the.
Interesting. Okay. So what about the pairing appealed better to you?
Well, we had so much problems last week just getting the thing set up and knowing how to approach it. I think it helped a lot to think about the problem. We just got stuck in the weeds of things a little bit on mob as far as just getting the Maven thing set up and then how to write a test and getting the thing working. And just taking a step back and thinking about the problem and how we approach it. That helped me too.
Okay.
Yeah, we intentionally did that.
Good. Yeah, I know we did. Did other people just spend a couple minutes sketching it out, and did that seem to help? Yeah? Okay. Cool. What else? Yes?
I think if we do more, then we need one person who lead.
So you'd recommend that like next time you sort of have one person who's. What do you mean by lead? Now, lead in terms of typing, leading in terms of what would the leader do?
Just give the ideas.
It's like give the ideas and then everybody else type. Interesting. Other mobs, what do you think about that? Is that something that you would want to experiment with? You're shaking your head no? That's not what a Scrum Master does? It was really interesting. I don't have a lot of experience mob programming. One of the things I noticed in our group was that it was really fun because each three of them got to be the driver and then was also the observers and stuff. And when like one person would be driving, the other person would be like, oh, do this and do that, and they'd be telling them what to do, and the person was like trying to figure out how to type, and then they'd switch. And the exact same thing happened. The person who had just been sitting there, like trying to figure out how to type, like, "Oh no, do that, no, correctly, do this." Oh, it was interesting, right? It's kind of an interesting experiment in dynamics, and it's interesting for me to see you guys, which are learning, because you're still getting used to the language and the tools and things like that. It's sort of making me realize that there's just a lot of thinking that goes into these problems. So even something that seems as straightforward as this, there's sort of a lot of decisions being made, and I think that's one of the interesting group dynamics of how the mob works, is letting the person who's there at the keyboard, giving them enough leeway to sort of explore what's in their mind while also commenting on it. Interesting. So too bad you don't get social science credits for this course too, right? So anyway, okay. What time is it? It's almost 8:30. Do you guys want to keep going or want to call it a night? Call it a night? Okay. I'm fine with that. I want to go hang out with Doug for a little bit. I'm going to end the call. If anybody is so enthused to keep going on the katas and wants to work on it, of course, feel free. Let's see here, and I think that's it. Yep. So, excuse me. Next week, Project 3 is due. The katas are due. Please let me know if any questions. Keep posting to the community. I appreciate all of that. Let me know if there's anything that you need. Let's get the keyboards back up here. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.